Chairman Brown, Chairwoman Elmers, members of the committee, Ranking Member Tonko and Ranking Member Richmond, thank you for the invitation to speak today. This is the first time I've been before a committee, so I'd like to, if I may, enter my written testimony into the record and summarize those points here for you today.
Without objection.
Thank you. My name is LaTourelle. I'm the Vice President of Government Affairs for a company called BioAmber. We are a renewable chemical company. My work with BioAmber includes renewable chemical manufacturing project finance, federal, state, and local financial incentive analysis, renewable chemical and economic policy development, and I currently head global sustainability. It's a startup. I'm also a former investment advisor, both for private individuals on private companies in the clean tech sector and for public companies. So my perspective is a little bit different than the other members of the panel. BioAmber, just to start, is a next-generation chemicals company. We have a proven proprietary process that uses economically viable, sustainable feedstocks rather than oil and coal and natural gas to produce platform chemicals. These chemicals are used for a diverse range of applications. For example, we produce a non-toxic bio-based succinic acid. This is used in many applications from food additives to fabrics, and we do so at lower cost. We've also developed bio-based butanediol, a technology that will be deployed at our first commercial scale facility in Ontario, Canada, along with the succinic acid. Now, in combination, these two chemicals put together make what's called a modified polybutylene succinate. And this is a resin similar to what we just heard about. This, I did bring some samples here I'd just like to show so that we can get a practical feel for what we produce. This is the modified PBS as it comes out. It goes into extrusion machines. This type of plastic is stamped into very familiar objects, coffee cup lids, and our technology is special because it gives heat resistance. Not only is it biodegradable within 90 days, but you also have heat resistance, which is a very difficult property to engineer. Respectfully, I would like to present a few different reactions to the issues of concern before the committee today from the perspective of a renewable chemistry company. Like Dr. Buss, I too question the fundamental relevancy of the rock to small business, but from a different perspective. And my next statement is in no way challenging the science or the importance of the rock itself. We find ongoing reporting of carcinogens has a negligible impact on competition in the face of industry-wide 21st century business concerns. The ad hoc nature of global chemical regulations is not detrimental to our small business, and it's not a shock. I'd like to just remind you that the World Health Organization, in its International Agency for Research on Cancer, moved styrene, for example, from not classifiable to possibly carcinogenic to humans in 1987. So the impacts of this information should have already come to the fore. They reviewed that assessment in 1994 and in 2002 and came up with the same conclusions. The U.S. Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry pointed to that report in 2007, and the EPA has regulated styrene already in drinking water where it's been found. To be fair, Canada has found styrene to be non-toxic. However, I'd like to point out that in no way, even though we make a direct substitute for styrene, has in no way impacted our decision to get to commercial scale in Canada. Last year in California, for example, a total ban of styrene was considered. These regulations are essentially ongoing discussions, but they really take a back seat to the larger concerns of the 21st century. We have cost concerns related to energy supply price increases. We have shipping and supply chain costs, mentioned by Ms. Weber, associated with radical swings in the price of oil. We have increased demands for transparency. And the chemical industry is bringing science and innovation to design products that avoid these concerns, as well as toxicity. Our chemical process design takes 51% less energy to run than the incumbent petrochemical players. That means there's a 205% energy efficiency that occurs, pound for pound. In our adipic acid technology, for example, it takes 205% more energy to create a petrochemical adipic acid.
Ms. LaTourelle, if you would, your time has expired, so if you'd wrap up quickly, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
I'd appreciate it.
My apologies. Just to wrap up, I'd also like to suggest that regulations themselves lead to innovation. If we cannot identify the problems and if we do not have access to information, we cannot find the solutions. Large chemical partners also support a shift in this industry to safer alternatives. Familiar names from our strategic and innovation partner list are DuPont, Cargill, Lanxess, Mitsubishi Chemical, Mitsui. I'd also like to point out that retail regulation and consumer drive is a bigger concern to us than any of the other things mentioned. In conclusion, the environmental concerns, the 21st century current concerns are quantifiable. Something like the rock really takes a back seat in terms of small business to competitive answers that are readily available. Thank you for your time.